the world awoke to a headline no one expected. Gordon Ramsay cries over a bowl of soup. The image was everywhere. Ramsay, eyes red, staring at a simple bowl, his tough persona stripped away. This wasn't the fiery chef we knew, it was a man transformed. The story came from a small documentary crew in Manila, following Ramsay as he explored Filipino cuisine, a food he'd once dismissed. Instead of critique, the Philippines revealed his vulnerability. The culinary world buzzed, what was in that soup? Who was the chef who moved Ramsay to tears? Suddenly, Filipino food was on the global stage, celebrated for its soul, not just its flavors. Ramsay's tears reminded us, food isn't just art or fuel, it's a bridge to our memories and our humanity. The world leaned in, hungry for the story behind the tears. Gordon Ramsay landed in Manila, skeptical and unsure of what awaited him in this vibrant city. He was completely out of his element, surrounded by unfamiliar sights and sounds. The city's relentless heat and chaotic energy were a world away from the calm, pristine kitchens he was used to commanding. He was there to film his show, Uncharted, but Filipino food was a mystery to him, one he doubted would impress his refined palate. Used to control and precision, Ramsay felt a growing unease as the van left the gleaming business district behind, heading into a humbler, more authentic neighborhood. Street vendors called out, vibrant crowds pressed in, and unfamiliar, intoxicating smells filled his senses, making him both anxious and intrigued. He was set to meet Chef Margarita Flores, expecting a sleek modern restaurant, ready to judge, ready to compare. Instead, he arrived at a modest building tucked away in a Manila neighborhood. No fanfare, just a simple door and a sense of mystery. The air was thick with the scent of charcoal and garlic, a smoky perfume that clung to everything. Ramsay adjusted his chef's jacket, feeling exposed and vulnerable in this unfamiliar kitchen. He was about to step into a world he didn't understand, with a chef whose philosophy and approach were completely unknown to him. His skepticism was at its peak, but beneath it, a flicker of curiosity began to grow. For once, Ramsay wasn't the judge. He was the outsider, about to be tested by a cuisine and culture he barely knew. The mission was clear: find the soul of Filipino food, to discover what made it unique and beloved by millions. He wondered if he'd even recognize it when he found it, or if Manila would surprise him in ways he never expected. Chef Margarita Flores' kitchen was a world apart from Ramsay's. It was alive, herbs overflowing, mismatched pots, family photos tucked in corners. Gaita, as she insisted he call her, greeted him with warmth, not formality. There was no ego, just a quiet confidence and a focus on ingredients. The kitchen felt like a sanctuary, not a stage. Ramsay, used to teaching, realized he was the student here. Gaita handed him garlic. To understand our food, you must feel it. She spoke of stories in every ingredient. Ramsay, for once, wasn't thinking about perfection. He was present. The kitchen scars told stories of family and community. He felt his guard drop, respect growing for the authenticity around him. In this humble space, Ramsay found something he'd lost: the joy of simply cooking. He was ready to learn. The first lesson: adobo. A dish that is both humble and legendary in Filipino kitchens. Ramsay thought he knew it, a simple braise, a straightforward recipe. But Gaita, his guide, showed him otherwise, opening his eyes to a world of nuance. Adobo, she explained, is not just a dish, but a method, a delicate balance of sour and salty, patience and heat, tradition and improvisation. Every family has their own version. It's the taste of home, a memory on every plate, passed down through generations. She crushed garlic, used native vinegar, and measured by instinct, not recipe. Her hands guided by memory and experience. Trust your senses, she said, letting the clay pot simmer gently, the flavors melding over time. The aroma filled the kitchen, sharp, comforting, alive. It was a scent that spoke of family gatherings and celebrations. Patience was key. Time was an ingredient, just as important as the vinegar or the soy. Ramsay, used to speed and precision, found himself slowing down, surrendering control, learning to wait and watch. When the adobo was finally ready, it was served simply with rice, letting the flavors speak for themselves. The flavors were bold, complex, and deeply satisfying, each bite a journey through layers of taste. It was nothing like the one-dimensional dish he'd imagined. It was vibrant, soulful, and alive. In one bite, Ramsay understood. Filipino cuisine was a tapestry of history, patience, and heart, woven together over centuries. He realized he'd underestimated it, and in a way, himself. There was so much more to learn. The lesson was clear. Great food is about more than technique. It's about soul, about connection, and about honoring the stories behind every meal. As the rain poured down, creating a soothing rhythm against the windows, Gaita prepared arroz caldo, a humble yet deeply comforting rice porridge, a staple of Filipino comfort food that warms the soul. She carefully toasted garlic to a golden brown, simmered tender chicken with fragrant ginger, and finished the dish with a squeeze of calamansi and a sprinkle of fresh spring onions, each step a testament to her care. Ramsay watched intently, struck by the dish's simplicity and the meticulous care that went into its preparation, a stark contrast to the high-pressure kitchens he was used to. She handed him the steaming bowl with a gentle smile, saying, "Eat, it will warm you from the inside, just like a hug in a bowl." The first spoonful was a revelation. Ginger's subtle heat, chicken's rich depth, and citrus's bright tang all danced on his palate. But it was more than just flavor. It unlocked a cherished childhood memory of his mother's comforting soup back in Scotland, a memory he hadn't visited in years. He felt cared for, safe and loved, emotions he'd almost forgotten amidst the chaos of his culinary career. Tears welled up in his eyes, surprising him with their sudden intensity. Gaita understood without needing words, offering a gentle, reassuring hand on his shoulder, a silent gesture of empathy. In that moment, Ramsay's emotional walls crumbled, not from the usual pressure of the kitchen, but from the unexpected kindness and warmth. The world's toughest chef was undone by a simple, unassuming bowl of porridge, a dish that spoke volumes without saying a word. It wasn't about technique or prestige, but about the heart and soul poured into the meal. It was about connection, memory, and the profound power of food to heal and bring people together. Ramsay realized that sometimes the simplest meals hold the deepest meaning, resonating with the heart in ways complex dishes cannot. In the bustling city of Manila, he found an unexpected sense of home and belonging in a humble bowl of arroz caldo. The next morning, Gaita took Ramsay to Cubao's farmers market. The place was alive. Mangoes, fish, vegetables, and the stories of the people selling them. Gaita knew every vendor, teaching Ramsay to choose the best ingredients and listen to their stories. The connection between chef and farmer was personal, not transactional. She bought sampaguita buds to scent the rice. Food was about memory and romance, not just taste. Ramsay was humbled by the thoughtfulness and community. He saw Filipino cuisine as art rooted in nature and people. The market revealed the true flavor of the Philippines' connection. That evening, Gaita welcomed Ramsay to her family home for dinner. The table overflowed with food: adobo, roasted fish, sinigang, rice, served family style. Ramsay, once an outsider, was quickly embraced as a guest, not a celebrity. Laughter, conversation, and shared dishes filled the room. The act of eating was communal, reinforcing bonds and celebrating togetherness. Sinigang's sourness sparked friendly debate. Every dish was a living part of their identity. Ramsay saw hospitality's true meaning. Everyone welcome, everyone fed. The greatest luxury wasn't exclusivity, but belonging. He tasted not just food, but a culture and a community. The experience changed him in ways he never expected. In Gaita's kitchen, Ramsay opened up about the pressures of perfection and the joy he'd lost. Gaita shared her philosophy: cooking is service, not ego. When you cook with love, your food tastes of love, she said. Her kitchen was collaborative, joyful, a family, not an army. She taught Ramsay humility and the power of kindness. On his last day, she showed him how to use a mortar and pestle, slowly, patiently, as a meditation. Ramsay realized he'd been humbled, not by failure, but by wisdom. He came to judge a cuisine, but was judged by its grace. The lesson: true strength is found in humility, not dominance. Ramsay left Manila changed, his heart and mind opened. He had found what he didn't know he was searching for. Back in London, Ramsay saw his restaurant with new eyes, perfect but soulless. He gathered his staff, sharing his Manila journey and the lesson of arroz caldo. Perfection isn't the goal. Connection is, he told them. The kitchen became a family. Collaboration and respect replaced fear. Staff meals, local ingredients, and new ideas flourished. Ramsay added margarita's porridge to the menu, a tribute to Gaita. Critics noticed the change. The angry chef had found empathy. The restaurant felt warmer, more human. Ramsay's journey elevated Filipino cuisine and sparked a global conversation about what matters in food. He learned the greatest dishes are born from humility and heart. The story he found in Manila rewrote his own. The world saw a new Gordon Ramsay, one who cooks and lives with soul. And it all began with a simple bowl of soup,